Yamuna Tira Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Jaya, Goranita, Jaya, Goranita, Jaya, Goranita. Jaya Radha, Govardhana Radha, Govardhana Shiva. Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Janitya Lila Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharia Astoshata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Janitya Lila Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharia Astoshata Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya, His Divine Grace AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Chamakund Radha Kund Giriraj Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Mathura Dhama Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dhama Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Jai. Shri Ayodhya Dhama Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai. Shri Harinama Sankirtan Yagna Ki Jai. Cow Protection Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 8, Text 16 and 17. The chapter is called Manifestation of Brahma from Vishnu. Tasyam cha chamboruha kanikayam avastito lokam apashyamanaha parikraman vyomni vritta netrash Chatvari lebe nudishamukhani Tasyam cha chamboruha kanikayam Avastito lokam apashyamanaha Parikramam yomni vritta netrash Chatvari lebe nudishamukhani Tasyam cha chamboruha kanikayam Avastito lokam apashyamanaha Parikraman vyomni vritta netrash Chatvari lebe nudishamukhani Tasyam, in that, cha, and, ambaha, water, ruha kanikayam, the hurl of the lotus, avastitaha, being situated, lokam, the world, apashyamanaha, without being able to see, parikraman, circumambulating, vyomni, in space, vrittanetraha, while moving the eyes, chatvari, four, labhe, achieved, anudisham, in terms of direction, mukhani, heads. Translation. Srila Prabhu. Brahma born out of the lotus flower, could not see the world, although he was situated in a hell. He therefore circumambulated all of space. While moving his eyes in all directions, he achieved 4 heads in terms of the 4 directions. Please repeat. Brahma, born out of the lotus flower, could not see the world, although he was situated in a hell. He therefore circumambulated all of space, while moving his eyes in all directions. He achieved 4 heads in terms of the 4 directions. Keep reading, there's no purport. I just read the verse, we don't have to repeat. Tasmad yuganta shuva navaguna jalormi chakra sadila virudham upashrita kanjam yulokatatvam natmanam adavidat adidevahat. Translation. Lord Brahma, situated in that lotus, could not perfectly understand the creation. The lotus saw himself. At the end of the millennium, the air of devastation began to move the water and the lotus in great circular waves. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Brahma was perplexed about his creation. The lotus and the world, even though he tried to understand them for 1 millennium, which is beyond calculation in the solar years of human beings. No one, therefore, can know the mystery of the creation and cosmic manifestation simply by mental speculation. The human being is so limited in his capacity that without the help of the Supreme, he can hardly understand the mystery of the will of the Lord in terms of creation, continuance, and destruction. So this the continuation of Lord Brahma, the Mahapita of this cosmic universe. There are many background stories of his personality, who Lord Brahmaji is. A great personality who, entrusted by Lord Narayan himself to be an instrument in the creation of this whole cosmic manifestation. Ultimately, Krishna is the Parama Ishvara. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna. Satchidanta Vigraha. Anadir Adir Govinda. Sarva Karana Karana. So we can see Sarva Karana Karanam, the cause of all causes, is the ultimate cause of all causes. Ishvaraha Paramaha, the supreme controller. Everything is happening under his direction, under his supreme design. He is the ultimate designer, the supreme architect of this entire cosmic manifestation, which is beyond our humanly comprehension. It is very difficult for us to understand unless we have some level of submission to the authority of the Vedic wisdom, Vedic knowledge, Vedic authorities, which coming down in a proper system, Shri Parampara, represented by the Mahajanas, ultimately our spiritual masters giving us the very essential teachings. So Lord Brahma, a great devotee, who is also the initiator of our sampradaya, Brahma, Madhya, Gaudiya, Sampradaya. So we are very attentive to his message, Brahmaji. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discovered the Brahma Samhita in his tour down South India. He could not find the whole of it, but he found 50 some verses, I think, very, very important for us as students of bhakti, devotional service to Krishna, because Brahma Samhita directly addresses the ultimate realm of devotional service, Goloka Vrindavan, and his supreme potencies, and how Krishna himself in Vaikuntha and above Vaikuntha, Goloka Vrindavan, exhibits his own personal interaction and his sweet pastimes and who he is and his potencies. Then he coming down to the Vaikuntha realm, Lakshmiji and the Vaikuntha realm, Vaikuntha planets, and then gradually manifesting into the external material energy, which is one of Krishna's energies, Prakriti. Krishna has many energies, all together called Mahat Tattva, and they're manifesting in different forms for particular function and purpose. In this material world, we can see that manifesting with the elements, Krishna's energies, Mahabhutas, the 5 elements, Agni, Bhumi, Vayu, air, water. These are 5 elements. And then we have the subtle elements. You can see the buddhi, intelligence, the mind, the manasa, and ahankara, the ego. Then you can continue into 24 elements. Actually 25, because the time element also comes to that. So Krishna has his grand design. There's a particular order. So he's got his manasa, his entire meditation from Karunakshaya Vishnu, the cause of all causes, the ultimate Vishnu. Then, of course, manifesting into cosmic reality, cosmic universes, where Garbhodakshaya Vishnu takes place, which are designated into each universe. And each universe is shaped like an egg, Brahmanda. Anda means egg shape. So Brahman, Anda, Brahmanda. So each universe has a particular shape. There are similarities because each universe has an axis called Mount Meru, and each universe has a Brahma, a creator. The size of the universes are very different. There are many descriptions also on that. Brahma Samhita is incredibly advanced knowledge, difficult for us to fully understand unless we go through the whole system of Vaishnava studying with the basics. Brahma Samhita, nicely purported, commented by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, Prabhupada's spiritual master, and very beautifully, eloquently describing Krishna's sweet pastimes in Goloka Vrindavan, ultimate object of love. This is the ultimate object of love. Here we are. So we study about Krishna, trying to understand his beautiful pastimes in individuality, his message, and not to speak of his great representatives. And Brahmaji is the first Param Guru for this Mahapita, the ultimate father for this particular universe. And so he's also known as the creator of this universe under Krishna's order. So we can understand his extraordinary intelligence to mastermind and design this cosmic universe we have here. And in our universe, Brahmaji four-headed, as Vyasadeva says, and Srila Prabhupada also says. And Brahmaji woke up from his meditation and realizing his void, He's hearing the sound, Om, tapasya. So he gradually, after thousands of celestial millenniums, we don't even know how to calculate that, because like Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that these are very different from human calculations. They are universal time factors. Brahmaji's time length and his lifespan is far different from ours. So it's very relative. So laws of relativity also. So we can see that Brahmaji, gradual tapasya and meditation, he had the realization by the mercy of Lord Narayan. Lord Narayan revealed the Vedic information in his heart. And obviously, he is the first guru of our sampradaya, Brahma sampradaya. We're very fortunate, especially because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this sampradaya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan, who's also manifesting in many different universes for his pastimes, reveals knowledge to the first creator, Brahmaji. Other universes have Brahmas. They have more heads. Some has 1,000 heads. Prabhupada says in the Krishna book that some even have 1,000,000 heads. I can imagine. So we can see that we're not speaking about the material dimension here, it's a spiritual dimension. And these heads also symbolizing things, not just actual heads, but just like in this verse, when Brahmaji realizing, searching, and analyzing this whole cosmic manifestation around him, the elements coming out of Mahatattva, and looking at 4 directions, and so he received 4 heads, so he can have this knowledge from all directions. Brahmaji systematically designed, he's like an engineer of this universe. Krishna inspired him to manifest this, but it's difficult for us to understand every detail. Like Srila Prabhupada says very clearly in this purport that human beings is so limited in his capacity that without the help of the Supreme, he can hardly understand the mystery of the will of the Lord in terms of creation, continuance, and destruction. As we read on the chapter, how Lord Brahmaji appears in that hurl of the lotus flower, and his whole continuation of his tapasya and his realization of the Supreme, not just within himself as a Chaitya Guru, but the ultimate control of everything, the Supreme Narayan. This is when he got his inspiration. It's very interesting because everything, especially in spiritual life, even for our personal realization, that everything moves on inspiration. Why we became devotees of Krishna? Because we got the inspiration, hearing the spiritual master, hearing the divine message of Krishna. We felt some inspiration, not just enlightenment, but inspiration. Yes, this is a very noble path. Let me take shelter of Srila Prabhupada and his mission. Let me take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Krishna himself. It's so inspiring. When we're reading these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam on a daily basis, it's a great source of inspiration. No wonder Srila Prabhupada was emphasizing daily recitation. Together, or yourself, when you find some quiet time, please, we should all read every day, as much as we can, whenever we have some time. Nice to read together. Some afternoons, once, twice a week, we get together. and we read together, recite the slokas. Even the slokas are very purifying and uplifting. The transcendental sound and the translation. Then go into the purports and trying to discuss it amongst ourselves, questions and answers. That's how we also grow and develop our devotion to Krishna. And the inspiration comes. Without inspiration, we cannot continue. So Brahmaji got his inspiration from Lord Narayan within his heart, the Chaitya Guru. And then the creation, and like Prabhupada said, we cannot comprehend his intelligence, how the creation manifesting here. But there are descriptions as we read on the Srimad Bhagavatam. There are answers for everything. You just have to gradually study the information, and comprehension, realization will come by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. I always have to say that because it's not a mechanical study. We should not make that mistake. Krishna consciousness is not a mechanical process. It appears to be mechanical because we follow sadhana process. We follow rules and regulations, but ultimately it is always up to the mercy of Guru and Gauranga and the assembly of the devotees. So we seek the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Even just to understand a paragraph or a sentence in this Bhagavatam, we need the mercy of the devotees. We have no access otherwise. We cannot approach Krishna consciousness without submissive, humble attitude. It's difficult for us to understand a very deep, transcendental, esoteric teachings of Vyasadeva. There's no way. So we have to accept that before we even open this book, that we have to take shelter of the higher Vaishnavas, the spiritual master, and their blessings. Then gradually, we can understand things which ordinary persons cannot understand. We cannot understand how the creation takes place with our imperfect senses. There's no question. We have to have an access to these higher knowledge, higher authorities who can actually explain this, not just from their own realizations and revelations, but their connection with the Supreme. When a great Mahajana speaks, the Supreme Lord himself speaks through them. There are 12 Mahajanas, famous Mahajanas, and Brahmaji is one of them. Naradaji, Bhishmadev, and many great personalities, Hanuman, they're all great Mahajanas, great authorities. Mahajana means great authorities of transcendental realization and knowledge, Divya Jnana. So Brahmaji had a great task. Just like if someone gets a task of designing a city or a country or whatever, great task, obviously it requires a great team of designers, engineers to do anything like that. Has to be a conceptual design, has to be pre-designed, then come down to details, approvals, then ultimately it can manifest gradually. So Krishna already had this. He's the ultimate creator, he's the ultimate controller, and he already had this planned. And Brahmaji became his instrument. Brahma is not just a name, Brahma also a position, a post. Many of these great devas and devis are posts also. Indra is a post. And often different personalities, great devotees, taking that position to help Krishna's administration in this universe. Because just like any country, for example, any country, it requires administration, it requires a government, a chief, a prime minister, department heads, health minister, foreign minister, this minister, whatever. Department heads. So similar, Krishna required for this cosmic manifestation, great personalities, great devotees to assist him. So Brahmaji is one of them. And there are countless universes. Each universe have powerful personalities, Brahmajis, and Krishna takes his pastimes to different universes all the time. We are very fortunate because the Lord chosen this particular universe headed by our Brahma, in mentioned Brahma Samhita, to perform not only once but repeatedly, continuously his pastimes. And in our universe, Bharatavash is even more special. As we know in the description of Bhagavatam, the axis of the universe we call Manmeru, and the different realms, higher dimensions. As we go higher, we go to the celestial realms, Indraloka, Indraprasthra, go higher and higher to Brahmaloka on top, and the 4 rivers coming down. One is Mother Ganga, coming down, purifying this cosmic layout which manifests in a lotus flower. And the whole is called Jambudvip. There's a part of that Jambudvip, small particle called Bharatvash. And Bharatvash has 9 islands, cosmic islands called Dvipas. And one of the islands is called Mother Earth, Bhumidevi. So we are very fortunate to have Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, performing his lila, not just once, but repeatedly. Great personalities come down, great avatars, expansions. Not to speak of the great personalities, demigods. The demigods used to visit these Varshas, particularly Bharatvash. But in Kali Yuga, they're rather avoiding it. Kali Yuga is not a pleasant time for anyone, really. And the demigods, they're controlling things, but they're not coming here to give their blessings. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the great teachers, the great sampradayas, authentic bona fide sampradayas, fortunately, the mercy is still coming down for us to help us. Living entities who could not perfect their lives in different yugas like Satya, Trecha, Dwapara, finally they had to take birth in Kali Yuga. So we weren't that intelligent, really, to come take birth in this Kali Yuga. But somehow or other, we still get the mercy. Mahaprabhu comes and giving us Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the greatest preacher of Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu toured South India, he visited all these places, Brahma Kund, he found the Brahma Samhita, he was manifesting his ecstatic symptoms, having Brahma Samhita, which is requires a great adhikari, great advancement to fully relish it and understand these beautiful verses. Srila Prabhupada emphasized studying Brahma Samhita. He left it as it is, as his Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, with his eloquent, scholarly English. His English was like speaking Sanskrit, very orderly, very coherent, and very meaningful, very introspective, transcendently potent passages. It's an extraordinary English language. When he spoke English language, the English aristocracy in Calcutta, they were stunned by his eloquency and excellence. He spoke like a Sanskrit scholar, just in English language. So, wow. Of course, Devanagari is the real language of the Aryans, the civilized human beings. Aryan is not really a race. Aryan is more like a recognition of a supreme culture, a highly advanced metaphysical civilization, where you're recognizing that there's a supreme personality of Godhead, and there are Vedic knowledge coming down, descending down. So they organize their societies according to these Vedic principles. guided by great rishis, Raja rishis, great personalities, saintly personalities. Nevertheless, there were families, bloodlines within the Aryan civilization, and the Europeans, generally part of the Aryan stock. Srila Prabhupada confirmed it many times. Even our languages had an origin with the Devanagari. Indo-European languages, we often use these terms. I had a friend who studied languages, linguistic scholar, and he said that they all agree that most European languages, anyway, except a few, they actually originate from Sanskrit. Therefore, they use the term Indo-European languages because even Hebrew, Latin had roots going back to Devanagari. And Devanagari is a very, very not only eloquent and highly metaphoric and expressive language, but highly mathematical also. Every syllable has a numerological value. So when you pronounce a Sanskrit word, it has a vibration, uplifting vibration, not to speak of chanting sacred mantras, Vedic information, reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, they out of this world, they transcend into vibration, coming down here to purify us, to inspire us, and so we can realize the self, just like Brahmaji. And when Brahmaji got the inspiration, this is when things start manifesting, crystallizing in the material cosmos. He had the vision, okay, the Mahabhutas, arranging the Mahabhutas, the 5 elements of nature around us. So you can see anything in this world is actually created by Brahmaji's intelligence. Krishna gave the inspiration, Lord Narayan gave the inspiration, he manifested. And even in our humble lives as human beings in this world, when we feel inspired, we can do great things. Great artists. Look at Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci. What they could do. Just the inspiration. They painted these cathedrals. I went to Firenze, Florence once, many years ago, and I visited Leonardo da Vinci's work, cathedral and personal artwork, and incredible. He had the inspiration, and he was actually quite God conscious. He got the inspiration, some kind of a spiritual, contemplative inspiration there, glorifying the Supreme. Same with Michelangelo. When he painted St. Peter's Cathedral in Vatican, the expression was so refined. You could see these people had some level of self-realization. They could feel they wanted to glorify the Supreme. In that particular context, Christian context, they were glorifying, they built these beautiful cathedrals. It's all based on inspiration. So we can't even imagine the inspiration Brahmaji received from Lord Narayan within his heart to create this whole cosmic manifestation. Everything around us, the planets, the sun, everything has a precision, high level of precision. You can see how the planets orbiting. They cannot deviate, they cannot make mistakes. Everything exactly. Otherwise, it would be a chaotic situation or devastation. But there's a plan, there's a program here. So Krishna already designed everything in his Manasa. Lord Vishnu already had this meditation. So Brahmaji is just crystallizing it, manifesting it. So he's an instrument in that manifestation. And it's a very beautiful chapter to understand how the creation, especially our cosmic manifestation here, our universe, manifesting by the grace of Brahmaji and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the lesson also is that we have to gradually gradually study this and come to a conclusion that great personalities in the universe, not just Brahmaji, but other great personalities, are empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one can do anything without his empowerment. We are all empowered, even as human beings. Everything is sanctioned according to karmic destiny and will of the Supreme. It's all sanctioned. Everything. We have a limited amount of freedom, free will, but everything is already designed. Therefore, if we want to break through this karmic cycle, karmic destiny, we take shelter of the actual source, the actual controller of everything, Krishna himself. Then somehow we can break through here. And then we become truly free, truly understand how the creation takes place and how the great personalities became instruments of Lord Narayan. And then this is when we get the great inspiration to continue and realize our true path, which is devotional service to Krishna. So these personalities are great devotees. They're not just administrators. They are great personalities. Brahmaji is a very exalted, the first created being. He has no material father. Unlike all living entities in the universe, they all have a material father and mother, like that. No, Brahmaji created basically by the mystic power of Lord Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And then, of course, Vishnu forms are manifesting into all living entities. Vishodakshaya Vishnu, the Paramatma, the Super Soul, is present everywhere. Not just within us, but in a whole cosmic manifestation. They one and different at the same time. They're everywhere, basically. God is present in every atom, even between the atoms. God is everywhere. He knows He's completely omnipotent. Difficult to comprehend, but He's completely omnipotent. He is influencing, controlling, but He's not directly involved. This is something extraordinary to understand, because everything is controlled by Him, but He's not directly involved. He's empowering His agencies. Just like the Prime Minister is not directly involved with every department, but he's empowering them, he's sanctioning them, he's authorizing them. In the personalities, administration, they take the charge, they take control. And then things happening. There's a motion of, there's results, and action takes place. So what we can see here is basically the design of Brahmaji. And the living entities are basically experiencing their own reality, karmic, I call it karmic destiny, because nothing happens accidentally. Everything has a cause, and there's a trigger, there's a motion, and there's a beginning and end. But intelligent persons who are sincere seekers, they're trying to understand this. They're trying to find solution why we are suffering in this material world, how to get out of this suffering, birth, disease, old age, and death. It's continuous suffering. It's a very serious thing. We don't realize it so easily, but very, very serious problems. These are the main problems in this material world. Taking birth again, and experiencing disease, physiological, psychological, and then old age, we are restricted, then leaving, dying. These are all traumatizing to the soul. No one wants to die. No one wants to grow old. But once we understand that we are not this body, the Jiva Atman, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita very clearly, then there's a hope. And when we read the pages of the Bhagavatam, then we get inspiration. Because there's a powerful message here. There's a way out of this suffering. There's a solution. There's a solution. Just like if there's an engineering defect or problem, the top engineers, they know the solution. There's a solution for everything. So as living entities, we find not only shelter, but a solution in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam gives the ultimate solution. That's why we call Vedanta, Anta, the conclusion. The solution is here. Maha Purana, Mahabhagavata Purana. Great Purana. It's not just a historical recording, but the ultimate Purana. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was emphasizing the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the real message, not just for the people of Kali Yuga, but for the whole creation. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions? Yes.
You said that Bharatvarsha has 9 Varshas.
Yeah, 9 more. I don't know their names, but they're Sanskrit names for each. Even our Earth, actually you can do some research on this. I was reading, there's some recording on the different names. For example, sometimes they call Mother Earth as Sudarshan, and Bhumi is a general name, the goddess, obviously she's. But there are many different names, technical names for it. Sorry, I don't know them personally.
Bharatvarsha is no planet Earth?
No, Bharatvarsha has 9 islands, and one of the islands is this earthly plane, this planet. The 9 islands.
Isn't the Bhagavatam refers to Bharatvarsha as planet Earth?
Yeah, they're all called Bhumi, because you see that Bhumi is a very generic word, even called the whole plane Bur Mandala Bhumi. So Bhumi, when you say Bhumi, is really the earth. It's mainly because this cosmic manifestation is mainly governed by the earth element, Bhumi Devi, and Mother Earth is, that word Mother Earth, it can be used in this whole universe, you see, because Bhumi Devi and Varaha, the eternal consorts. Varaha is the Supreme Narayan, and Bhumi Devi, Lakshmiji, basically. So what you see here is actually a manifestation, expansion of Lakshmiji in this material cosmos. That's why Bhumi Devi, she's a goddess. We worship Mother Earth. That's why in the Vedic rituals we do Bhumi Puja, Bhumi Samskaras, because without her mercy we have no existence, we have no life. Everything comes from Mother Earth. And the irony of this Kali Yuga is that we destroy the ecology, destroy everything around us. Complete disrespect for Mother Earth. So everything is provided by the Mother, Krishna's feminine aspect, the nurturing aspect, the provider. So Bhumi Devi, Mother Earth, she's providing everything to us. So we have to be very careful, respectful. That's why for example, the Sri Vaishnavas, Lakshmi Sampradaya, they're so particular about Bhumi Devi, because they understand this is a very important aspect of Vaishnava teachings, that we always approach the Supreme through the feminine, motherly nature, see, because we're depending on her. So we can't be offending her all the time, actually. We're walking on her surface. We are her children, but the difficulty is that we have no respect. So you can see our modern civilization in Kali Yuga, so-called civilization, we're destroying everything. We're leaching the earth for oil, we're destroying things and creating havoc in the ecology, which is a great offense to Bhumi Devi. Therefore, Bhumi Devi, as we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, she does not produce so much as used to. In previous yugas and kalpas, Mother Earth was full of pearls and everything, wealth and gold and forest of fruit trees and everything. Especially when Krishna came 5,000 years ago, so much abundance of everything. But as Kali Yuga goes, gradually, as we read the pages of Bhagavatam, become more and more shortages in many levels, because Mother Earth withdraws the mercy. We're depending on her, but we're offending her. So we won't have much of, there's going to be droughts, there's going to be fires. So, I mean, it's happening already, you can see in different parts of the world, there's always some problems, ecological disasters, deforestation, tsunamis, it's all just part of the process of decline because of our offenses to Mother Earth. So that's what I can say. There's 9 islands in Bharatwash. And the other Vasha is even larger. We're just one of the smaller Vasha, one of the islands. So then of course Jambudvip, see, Jambudvip is very large. So many details, but a lot of these details are actually mentioned in other Puranas. The Bhagavatam touches the very essential things. And then you go to other Puranas, see, there are more description. Padma Purana, Skanda Purana, very vast. Padma Purana, almost 100,000 slokas. Mahapurana, what we study, Srimad Bhagavatam, is the very essence of bhakti. The great teachers, the great Mahabhagavatas, giving us Krishna bhakti here, gradually, touching the main topics, how the creation takes place, the whole thing. But details, you go to other Puranas also. There's a lot of Puranas there. But we're mainly interested in self-realization, in developing our Krishna consciousness. It's difficult for us to know everything. And it's not even possible. But we need to know. We need to know the structure of the universe and how it takes place, how the Brahmaji is creating things around us, and then we can at least have a comprehension. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.